This is MSR TV6 50 Minutes News. In the headline, School Board SVOBA investigates inappropriate conduct of teacher. Liquor League Stadium held soft opening. Youth Radio cycling Tour de Marigot a great success. These stories with much more details coming up right after this.
MSR Cable TV, simply the best.
The School Board for Secondary Education, SVOBA, is presently conducting an investigation into the action of a Milton Peters College MPC teacher who allegedly spat on a female student, called her whore, prostitute, used profanity to describe her, and threatened to harm her physically. This alleged incident has enraged a number of educators and is said to have occurred at the school on Tuesday, on March 25th. The male teacher with the initials AA is said to be a young first-year teacher, and the student with the initial TLK is said to be a second-form student. Dr. Joseph R. Rogers, Executive Director of Secondary School Milton Peters Anderson Dial, SVOBA, spoke to MSR on the matter and concerning the investigation.
Well, we understand that we're still busy investigating the full matter, but an incident occurred last week during class with a teacher in the class, and in particular some words were used towards in the class and during the class, in which the board itself doesn't tolerate it. We don't accept it, because we believe that we should treat each other with mutual respect. We are busy investigating that matter and hearing all parties as much as possible and seeing what has to take place, what transpired, and investigating. And the board will go for due time to take the appropriate measures that we deem necessary in this case.
Mr. Rogers, we understood, as you were giving your first statement, that the teacher is presently on suspension while the case is being going on. Is the student still at school, or that student is out of school also?
Well, the students are in the students. It happened in a full class, and the students normally should be in class. It is sort of any measures were taken against the. As far as I know that the students are what? Okay, all parties were involved, so you can get. I see the management took any measures against the particular class and the persons involved, because certain actions are also not directly what you would expect from some students. But the first instance we deal with we put the teacher involved on, let's say, like leave of absence with pay until this whole matter has been completely investigated, and we'll go out to see what measures to take.
You said the case is being investigated, we understand that, but you made a statement that sometimes students can be also provocative. It is rumored that this student is a particular troubled student, and there's always a situation with that class. As the director of the school board, have you heard that, or have you been called for that situation before in that particular class and this particular student?
No, well, as executive director, I'm not specifically involved in operations from the school. They run in the school itself. I'm for the entire organization. In the school, we have the general director of the Peters College, the Sunday School, and we also have the department heads. Those are the ones who deal with these type of issues.
Did they bring any reports since this case have come up that this particular class or student was always a troubled situation there?
Not in that completely detailed, and I don't want to go also in detail about the children or the different children involved or the particular teacher involved until I have a good clear picture of anything, and we would really get a good picture of it and then see what measures has been taken in all directions where necessary.
And as a director, Mr. Rogers, I know, how has this affected you, seeing that it's out as the director of the schools?
Well, as one in charge of school, we are here for education. And when education is being sidetracked, distracted with this type of form, it's not something that you really welcome or you look forward to or what to, but you have to deal with it, and it's part of the profession always, and then we'll handle it in an appropriate manner.
And what could be a consequence in this situation if it comes out the teacher is guilty? What kind of measures do the school board take?
Well, we have a number of measures at our disposal that we can take, and based on the outcome, we will take the most appropriate measure in this case.
And if it's a first-time incident, would the teacher be banned from teaching or just reprimanded and...
I cannot
We cannot
anticipate what will be the outcome from it. We have to hear all parties involved, and I don't want to create an impression of this or that. So no, we have to refrain from that, and under all circumstances, we have to try to keep a level head and look at the whole matter as objective as possible without anticipating any type of measures. Once the investigation has been concluded and all parties are heard properly and measures are taken, we will inform what the step is.
Thank you so much, Mr. Rogers.
You're welcome, but thanks. Okay.
Up until date, no one admittedly know what exactly triggered the teacher's action. However, it was said that the same particular student is known to be very insubordinate and that very class is also known for problem students. The investigation continues. The inaugural Youth Radio 92.5 FM and Associate Sportive de Marigot ASM Cycling Trophy of Marigot race, which took place on Sunday in Marigot, presented its first winner, Fabrice Connelly from Guadeloupe Union Velocipédicure du Nord UVN, with finishing time of 3.45.09. The original starting lineup of 62 riders had their riding route cut out for them, with 95-kilo race from Marigot to Lowlands being repeated 5 times, with an additional of each lap of a descent down the Porto Cupacoy roundabout and a finishing climb break up Douglas Hill. Just 32 riders completed this stage, 10 retired and 2 did not even start. However, none of the riders suffered any accident on the road, and it was clear to see that the efforts put into organizing this race was very great. The Little League Stadium was returned during a soft opening ceremony due to the fact that the stadium and the administration building behind the playing area is still under construction. In attendance at the soft opening was Minister Maurice Lake, Ministry of Public Housing and Spatial Planning, Environmental and Infrastructure, also Minister Patricia Lawrence, Minister of Education, Culture, Youth and Sport Affairs, and other government and VROMI officials. St. Martin Little League Associate Ronald Jacobs expressed happiness during his speech at the soft opening. MNO Vervaart, the company responsible for restructuring the Little League ballpark, Mr. Max Masterling, also spoke during the opening. Mr. Kirk Rohan, head of new projects developing planning, speaking during the soft opening.
It is a great pleasure again to stand here just after about a month ago with the inauguration of the Little League Sports Complex to yet again witness the soft opening of the Little League ballpark. It has been a long, rocky road. And when I say a long, rocky road, because we all would have read about the stories in the newspapers about the Little League, this, that, but not above all, but looking back at history, I knew Mr. Baku very well and how this bleacher building was established and put here. It was done based on donations in a lot of input from the community in hard labor. I mean, when the plans were prepared, during construction, when the contractor was requested to do some due diligence to the foundation, we noticed that even though on drawing it was indicated that there would have been a footing or whatsoever, during construction, when the contractor went and did a research, he noted that certain foundations, even though it was indicated on previous drawings, were not in place. In days where it all started with, I was in a budget of Parliament in January 2014, whereas this project was also put to test in the sense of there's going to be extra costs, there's going to be this, there's going to be that. And there have been, ever since, a lot of groundwork being done. And I'd also like to thank the Minister of Sports and Culture, Youth Affairs, Minister Lawrence, for her hard work in making sure that we stood the course, and also our Minister of VROMI, Minister Maurice Lake, who would have called up to 7:30, 8 o'clock in the morning to say, hey Kurt, we have to meet with association to make sure that we are on course and we are on track. So it is a long way. We still have a long way to go, but it's still a great pleasure that we could do a soft opening this afternoon in lieu of the competitions I'm going to start with those youngsters over there standing on our right-hand side, that they could make use of the facility.
Here is Minister League.
The reason why I say it's a good day is because it's good to see the Little League players have the opportunity to start the season. Also, it's good to see that also the Little League board, which is doing a fantastic job with the players. I'll be honest with you, when I came just to observe the field itself, I had an opportunity to talk to some of the coaches, also to Mr. Jacobs, and I see the excitement to start this season. So we are once more here so that we can start the Little League season. It's also good to see that we still can make it to the tournament, which is in July. And I think that's the main goal and main aim, is to get the youngsters back on the field so they can start. There was a lot of setbacks. Some say it was stopped, but it's not really stopped. It was just taking it back to basics so that we could plan for the next 10 to 20 years and have a good field, a good stadium, which have all the structural developments in place so that we can have a very good stadium in general to host other international tournaments.
Last to take the podium was Minister of Education, Culture, Youth and Sport Affairs, Mrs. Patricia Lawrence Phillips.
If there's a metaphor that will describe all that has been said here, all that has happened here over the last couple of months, it will be the metaphor that patience is a virtue. A lot of people have had to exercise patience during the last couple of months. I speak of the Little League Association itself, the parents, the children, the contractor, Mr. Ruan. Sometimes I know that when I would say to Mr. Ruan in a very gentle way, Mr. Ruan, what is happening here? You know, we need to get moving. He will always, with a smile, even if he didn't like me saying what I was saying, with a smile, Mrs. Lawrence, is going to be okay. And today, I think we have reached a stage where all is not yet done, but sufficient is in place for the Little League Association to move forward with their practice again and with their practicing for their tournament that will take place soon. I want to say that what I admire, even though we have heard it was a really rocky path that we were following, what I admire a whole lot from the Little League Association is that they were always on top of everything. If a screw was not in place, they said it. If something was too high or too hard, they said it. And I must congratulate Mr. Jacobs and his team for being on top of things. I can't say it in any other way, Mr. Jacobs.
Turn over the Little League field, Minister Patricia Lawrence Phillips presented a brand new baseball to 12-year-old Lois Pontiflet. The Causeway Bridge came to life Friday evening when the first ever Causeway pre-carnival jump-up of the season made its way from Kimsha Beach over the Causeway to the Union Road before completing its circle back to the Causeway. The event started and finished in record time and was well attended not only by many revelers but also spectators who will flank the roadside. This event, which marked a historic moment, stage approach was allowing the parade to cross the Causeway Bridge in small groups so that no excess weight will be on the bridge all at once. MSR reporter had a chance to speak with police spokesperson Inspector Ricardo Henson and president of the Carnival Committee, Mr. Michael Granger.
We want everybody to come out. We're going to provide the safety like we always say, but just we're asking everybody to just conduct themselves, that's all, and just come have fun.
And you think it started on time and everything is off to a good start?
Yes, we're running a little behind time, but we're going to pull it a little faster, and then we'll be at the end of the At the end of the parade, we'll be on time. We'll make sure of that.
We feel excellent. I mean, everything is going smoothly. Coming through Simpson, especially you felt that ambiente that you can't match anywhere. Coming over the bridge was really historic. Everybody seemed to like it. Everybody behaving themselves, so we're having a terrific time. This is really special.
The first ever pre-carnival Causeway jump up went off without a hitch. No major incident or accident apart from 2 persons being taken to the Simpson Bay Police Station to be reprimanded.